Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Well, it's later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. We're on YouTube and also Instagram Live. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is a completely new story telling of Harry, now grown and with kids of his own, taking some maybe 19 years after the 7th book. Now on stage at the Hollywood Pantages Theater through June 22nd.
People always look when you three are together.
Hogwarts will be the making of you, Albus. I promise you there is nothing to be frightened of there. You're Albus Potter, and I'm Scorpius Malfoy. Our parents didn't get on.
You do not want to do this.
Yes, I do.
Expelliarmus!
I'm nothing like my dad. You're better. You're my best friend, Albus.
A mistake has been made. We're going to use a time turner to save Cedric Diggory. Our journey has only just begun.
In fact, we'll be giving away not one, not two, but 3 different pairs of tickets tonight. And right now, Ebony Blake, who plays Hermione Granger, joins me on the show. Ebony, a pleasure to have you on. How are you this evening?
I'm just fine, and thank you so much for having me.
I'm pleased that you're here. Ebony, you've done TV. I'm talking about Blue Bloods, Bull, The Equalizer. You've toured with some of the biggest stage productions in the country, The Book of Mormon and Aida. Whereas stage seems, and correct me if I'm wrong, stage would seem like it's eminently more demanding and rigorous. It also seems like it's personally more rewarding. Am I right?
You just hit the nail on the head. I mean, the thing about stage, I sort of liken it as like a train trip. And as soon as the train leaves the station, for better or for worse, you know, you're kind of on the ride until you get to the end. But the thing about it is, you know, even though it's only a couple of hours at night, there's preparation that you have to sort of go through physically, mentally. You got to do your vocal warm-ups. So I'm sort of getting ready to go to work. If I'm due at 6 o'clock, then I'm getting ready to go to work around 3:30. And then I'm not done till about 11 o'clock, midnight, when you come home and you're kind of buzzing from the whole thing, you know?
Wow, that is a schedule. And you are an avowed Harry Potter fan of both the books and movies. You understand the popularity of both. Does that ever weigh on you as far as living up to the expectations and fame of all things Harry Potter?
You know what? It depends on how it's sort of a glass half full, glass half empty. It is such a wonderful responsibility. It feels like an honor and a privilege to sort of assume the mantle of these characters that everybody knows, everybody loves. And then, you know, with live theater, we have such license. It's like once you come into this space and everybody is kind of agreeing to have this sort of shared, you know, new idea and fresh take on it. You know, once the story starts, I feel like the audience is with you, and that's an exciting thing. Like, you don't have to live up to the movie because it's not a movie. And as far as the books, you know, you can come in with that knowledge, but that sort of enriches what you see when you see the play.
Let's talk about that audience, because I know that there is a magical element to this. In other words, there are actual magicians and illusions which are being performed, and audiences may react differently from night to night to different sets and different tricks. How does that impact your performance or anyone else's performance? I would say the spontaneity of an audience.
You know, I've cut my teeth. I've done so many different kinds of performing jobs. One thing that I've learned is I try to treat each audience as if it's the first time they've ever seen a story, as if it's the first time that I'm getting to perform it for them. So no matter how tired we get, you know, because we're like hundreds of performances in. But if I know you've given your time, you've given your money, you know, you're bringing your family, you guys have gone out to eat, you're dressed up. This could be your first time coming to see live theater. So no matter for me, if it's 300 people, if it's 2,700 people, the amount of precision, the amount of care, the amount of love and space that I want to hold for the audience and for my company members and my crew members, I try to give it 100% every single time because you never know what somebody is bringing when they come into the theater and that care that they're giving to you to say, I'm going to put my body in this space and, we're going to go on this trip together.
You made mention of the hundreds of shows. This is a two-part question. One, how long have you been on tour prior to coming to the Hollywood Pantages Theater? And what was the preparation like? Were you rehearsing for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks before you actually went on tour?
Good question. So we actually started rehearsals. We're coming up on a year that this whole thing began. I've been with the company since 2019. So I pretty much every adult woman role in the play, I have done it. But now I'm only, Hermione, which is lovely. It's a dream. And so we began rehearsals. What was that? I guess July of last year. It took about 6 weeks because, you got to learn all the choreography. You have to learn the movement. The illusions are something in and of itself, of course, and then it's the lines and the layering and figuring out what these scenes are. Because, as much magic as there is in the show, it really is a story about family, about friends, love, fathers, sons, these connections, what it is to be somebody that is in this magical world, but also have these really human connections with other people. And so then we left New York and then we got to Chicago, and then there's a process called the tech process. So that's when they put everything in the theater, and now you've added the lights, and now you've added the stage and the sound and, the more of the things that help us to make the show what it is, because we couldn't do it without our crew, without our front of house, and all these things sort of come together to make a touring company sort of complete. And we opened officially in September in Chicago. We were there for about 5 months. And I can't even believe I'm saying it. We will have been here for 4 months by the time we leave, which is wild because it seems like we just started, but also, we're about ready to sort of pick up sticks here and get to DC.
I have to wonder because no two audiences are the same. No two houses are the same. Is there I would say an acclimation process going from, let's say, Chicago to LA? You're now in the Hollywood Pantages Theater. Does it feel the same when you're on stage in a different space, or is there an adjustment period for you as well?
You're so right. I feel like these questions are so intuitive. You already know the answer when you said it. It's exactly right. It's different from space to space because as much as we now know the show, we get to meet a whole new wonderful wardrobe crew, a whole new local house crew. So that's the flymen, that's the electrics, that's the carpenters. So then the whole symphony of everything that you don't see backstage, which makes everything go, we have to sort of redo that every time we come into a new space. It's like that getting to know you period. But we've been so blessed because every team that we have had is so communicative. They're so sharp. They're so on it. They're all vets and pros at what they do. So this very specific thing that we bring to them, they kind of look at what we got and they go, okay, we're good. And so, and then it's just like you run around and you're switching clothes and doing this and that and the other. And then you go, wait a minute, I'm not in Chicago. This is a different stairwell. Oh my gosh, I turned left, but now I got to go right. So you sort of got to get used to everything as you go.
My guest right now is Ebony Blake, who plays Hermione Granger in the new show Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which is now on stage at the Hollywood Pantages Theater. Don't go anywhere. I'll have more with Ebony Blake, but also we'll be giving away not one, not two, but 3 pairs of tickets to shows of your...
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather, now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Choice.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live right now on YouTube. You can go to YouTube at Mr. Mo Kelly. We're live on Instagram at Mr. Mo Kelly. And we're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And we're talking Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which is now on stage at the Hollywood Pantages Theater. I'm speaking with Ebony Blake, who plays Hermione Granger. And let's pick up right there, Ebony. For those who are going to be seeing the show, whether they win tickets from us or they purchase tickets on their own, how would you set the stage, pun intended, for what they will see?
I would say, well, you did such a fabulous job at the beginning. It is the end of the very last book in the series, and the family is all on platform 9 3/4, and now we're grown. You know, we're parents ourselves. We're sending our children to Hogwarts for the first time, and so it sort of goes from there. We see Harry as this. He's a dad, he's a husband, and he's dealing with what it is to have a career and feel like, you know, can you really sort of juggle all of these things and do everything successfully while he is still sort of processing all of the emotional things that he went through in the series as a child? Because, of course, we know, you know, these things don't go away. Yeah, they just kind of manifest.
Let me jump in there. How does Harry not have PTSD? How does he turn into a responsible adult who's raising kids on his own?
This is the question I say every day to the people backstage. I was like, the job we need in the wizarding world is a therapist. Why there's no therapist in these books, I have no idea. But as Hermione, you know, now I'm a mom, I'm a wife. I'm Minister for Magic, which is essentially the prime minister for the wizarding community of England. And it is so crazy because it's, you know, that age old thing, like, can she have it all? Can she be professional and be the perfect mom, the perfect wife, the perfect minister? And you just see that she's trying her best. And now Harry works for her and he's not dealing with his stuff. And I'm like, listen, they're saying that this is nepotism. I need you to step it up. I need you to get it together. Like, I pulled you into this job because I know you can do it. And then our kids, you know, as they sort of pull the story along, and we see how our old stuff and our relationships and the sort of Easter eggs that people love, how that informs what these new kids are going through. And it's just a really fun story to tell every night.
I'm curious because we know Harry Potter being set in England, you have these British accents. Are you performing with a British accent or they move that aside?
No, we are definitely performing with British accents. And that's, you know, part of the preparation that comes into getting ready for the show every night, sort of like making your mouth do all these vowels. And, you know, I'm from Ohio, so sometimes I have to check in because it can get real country. But I've been doing it for so long now. It literally is muscle memory, but it is such a fun thing to do every night.
Is there anything that you specifically look forward to? Is it a scene? Is it a song? Is it a dance movement? Is it an audience reaction of a certain age group?
I tend to love when we get bus groups of kids in school. They get so excited, and I am thrown with how emotionally intelligent these children are. They come, they don't miss a trick. You know, Harry, when he's arguing with his son Albus, or, you know, when Ron and Hermione are having these moments of connection or misconnection, you know, depending upon where they are in the story. These kids are so sharp. I said, I don't know that I was that emotionally smart when I was that age. And I love their reactions. Honestly, it's selfish to me. I love it when I come out afterwards and they go, you're exactly what I thought Hermione was going to be. Like when I read the books, you know, I loved it. And it's such an honor to me because Emma Watson, who played the part so beautifully in the films, you know, people might have an idea of what they think Hermione is. And then by the time the show is done, they're like, oh no, it was you. It was you the whole time. And I'm like, that's so cool to me. So I love that.
You kind of took my next question because I'm always curious if the younger generation is being exposed to stage and theater presentations, musicals, anything that's a theatrical performance. And you answered that for me. I know as a kid who grew up going to performances, stage and theater performances and seeing musicals, it completely changed my life. My question to you is, were you exposed to that as a child?
Yes, I was. And you know what? The funny thing was my grandma raised me. I was raised in the church. So there is a little bit of theatricality and that's exactly what it is. And so from that, then I thought I wanted to be a doctor and I went to an autopsy and I said, that's not for me. And then I got introduced to theater and I discovered like, oh, this is how I can connect with people. This is how I'm supposed to do it. And then from there, it kind of took off. But I definitely think that it is so important. And after the past, decade that we have come through as a globe, really, and with the advent of social media and like phones and everything being so removed, there is a certain kind of magic and power that comes into live connection and why we drew on walls as cave people and the rise of theater like the Greco-Roman theater and Shakespeare, why it's been an art form that has lasted for so long. I think we need it. There's a catharsis that comes with it, and it's just one of those things. I think that it is so powerful and important for young people to be able to express themselves in that way and to see it happen on stage.
Ebony Blake, my time with you has run short, but I still have one more question of you, and is that, can you help me give away these 3 pairs of tickets to see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child at the Hollywood Pantages Theater?
It would be my pleasure. Listen, I want to give 50 tickets away. Don't quote me.
There's what you want and there's what you can do.
And that's it.
So what I need from you is 3 different numbers between 1 and 10.
Oh, okay. Let's go with 3.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do 7.
Mm-hmm.
And let's do 5. So 357.
357, callers number 357. You and a guest will be attending Harry Potter and the Cursed Child at the Hollywood Pantages Theater. Caller number 3, 5, and 7. I'd like to thank my guest, Ms. Ebony Blake, who plays Hermione Granger in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I hope to be able to come out and see you perform sometime. Ms. Blake, thank you for coming on this evening.
Thank you so much for having me and looking forward to whoever gets to come see the show. Thank you for being there.
It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on YouTube. We're live on Instagram, and we're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, it's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, and the iHeartRadio app. Is there a time limit on sequels and prequels? Can you wait too long? Or is there no expiration on a sequel or a prequel to tell a story which turns into a sequel?
As long as somebody can squeeze a dime out of it, it's still good.
We know that movie studios are open to it if it still makes money. But I'm just saying, as a theater goer, as a fan of movies, like, for example, if I told you that there was going to be a Rambo, not going to be, there is a Rambo prequel, which is just premiered at the Cannes Film Festival in France. Would you be interested? Me? I don't know if I want to see Rambo in, basic training or when he's in, his formative years as a soldier before he goes to Vietnam War. That doesn't really interest me. You're not going to have Stallone. You're not going to have Richard Crenna. The actors kind of do make the character and the story in this sense. I don't know if I want to see that. And I would like to consider myself to be a Rambo fan. As cheesy and corny as it got to be, Rambo 3, 4, 5, or however many they had, I actually liked the most recent Rambo movie. I really did.
I've lost track. What was the most recent one?
The one where he had to, I guess, go into Mexico to save someone's daughter.
Oh, yeah. The last couple were just insanely brutal.
They were brutal, and that's why I liked it. I'm just saying, I don't know what story there is to tell, because we know in today's world, Rambo has PTSD. He's not a functioning member of society. He's psychotic. He's had a psychotic break, which led to the events of the first Rambo.
That first movie in 1982 was really good, and he was supposed to die at the end of it.
He was supposed to, and this is something that I think Sylvester Stallone does not get enough credit for. He is actually a good actor.
In that one, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, I think he hasn't taken the roles which show off his acting range. But if you watch Tulsa King, he's really good. If you saw him in Creed, he's really good. It's just that a lot of the vehicles that he's used over the years have been more just for generating money, not Academy Awards as far as an actor.
I heard Tulsa King's really good. I heard he does a really good job.
Oh, it's very funny, and he is good. He's glib.
He's deadpan. It's just a good show. Good show. But I don't know if I want to see a Rambo movie that has nothing to do with Sylvester Stallone.
I saw the headline.
I don't know, guys. I don't know. One thing we know is that this is a character that Sylvester Stallone cares more about than any other, even more so than Rocky. This is a character that he always wants to get right because of his respect for the military, his respect for what vets go through. And he is like, I never want to get Rambo. He said this in an interview, when I got control of Rambo, I wanted to do Rambo. That's why you saw the later films really focus on me acting and the character I wanted to do.
But he was Rambo.
Now,
we're talking about a movie he's not.
I know, but do you think that he's going to slip and let someone come in to actually replace him and it be bad?
No. I think you're missing my point.
What?
It's not about whether it's an accurate portrayal of someone in the military who served during the Vietnam War. Mm-hmm. That's not my concern. I'm talking about a very specific character of John Rambo.
Yes.
And what we know about that character is John Rambo inhabited by Sylvester Stallone. Not all prequels are attractive to me. This is one of them. I would rather see John Rambo get older and older and get more adept at killing than going back to when he was 18, 19, 20 and fighting in Vietnam.
So you want to see a continuation to the last Rambo, which for me was my favorite Rambo.
No disagreement. I'm just saying I would rather see more Stallone.
Okay. That's fair.
Kind of like Creed. Like you'd want to maybe pass the baton.
Maybe. I don't know if you could pass the baton in a psychotic way, but
you can't pass this baton. You can't bring up a young Rambo to go out against.
There's no happy ending for the real quote unquote John Rambo in real life. That story never ends well. How many people was he killed?
Countless. You really literally can't count them. But what's the premise of the prequel? Is this how he became an unstoppable killing machine or what?
This is him. This is
origin
John
story.
Rambo in Vietnam. This is him in Vietnam, right? And it's supposed to take place right before he gets out of the military and finds himself in a town going up against Brian Dennehy.
I have to interject. Now, this is according to Deadline Hollywood. Sylvester Stallone is aware of the project, but he's not currently involved.
No. Hell no.
You want to change your answer?
No. This is a no. There's no way you do this. A pox on this film. Hey, don't do it.
I'm just saying.
Hey,
that's what the story says.
Hey, whoever's involved, don't you do it. Don't you do it.
They're obviously going to do it. They're getting ready to start principal photography in October in Thailand. So the movie is moving forward. It was announced at Cannes. So it's an actual thing. It has some sort of budget. I'm quite sure they'll be open to more funding. But if you have a Rambo movie, which is obviously not going to have Sylvester Stallone starring or producing, I can't in good conscience.
Look, we saw what happened. And look, I appreciate Michael B. Jordan for taking on directing and for him wanting to take the Creed name and banner under his own wing. But Creed 3, which had nothing to, it literally acted as if Rocky didn't exist, if Rocky was a figment of everyone's imagination and had no role in taking him to where he is, which was highly disrespectful. Everyone who was a fan of Rocky walked out of that film saying, hell nah. I don't care if the movie was good. For me, I walked out thinking to myself, the disrespect that they broke off in this film, I couldn't even enjoy it.
Yeah, I can appreciate Michael B. Jordan / Ryan Coogler / Creed franchise moving in a different direction. But to act like Rocky and all of that history did not exist in Rocky 3, and I tell people all the time, if you happen to like Creed 3, it's because you're a Michael B. Jordan fan, not a Rocky fan. Yes. There was nothing in that movie for Rocky fans. I am a Rocky fan. I am a Sly fan. I knew at some point Rocky was going to have to die, air quotes, in the storyline, and you have to move beyond the Rocky franchise. But you don't have to dismiss it and disown it as if it never happened and it didn't exist.
Yeah, that was highly disrespectful. This film here is another level of disrespect. It takes you to a whole nother level because Sylvester Stallone isn't even involved at all.
Riri on the YouTube chat says, it's fiction, Tuwala, lighten up.
No. Hell no. Riri, you're not a fan of films.
Yeah.
I don't even know why you entered the chat.
Yeah,
you should exit the chat because you don't know what we're talking about. You've never seen a Rocky film or a Rambo film.
We all know that it's fiction. It's not about whether it is a documentary. It's the fact that if you have a franchise, there is an established expectation what that franchise is supposed to contain. And if you don't have anything related to Sylvester Stallone, then you don't have anything to the original Rambo story. I'm not interested. And if they're asking for my money, they're asking for your money. And if they're not going to give anything which I think is worth our money, then no, I don't have to support that. It's not about lightening up. It's just, no.
Riri, you're lucky I like the name Riri. I'm a fan of the name Riri. Otherwise, I would block you from the chat. That's how serious I am.
You're going to block her from Motown?
That's how serious I am about this.
She's no longer one of the mofos?
Riri's laughing out loud at you. So, Look, Twally, you're going to look up and you're going to get a runner in a second.
No, wouldn't dream of it. I'm kind of curious about this now, just on a pure trash level. Because
no, I'm not.
The original
pure trash level?
Yeah, the original Rambo was one of those movies that came out less than 20 years after Vietnam ended, about soldiers coming home. Like, you remember Rolling Thunder, one of my all-time favorite movies?
Rolling Thunder, The Deer Hunter. There was a cottage industry of post-Vietnam War movies, and they all, not say all, but many of them hit.
Yeah, and so Rambo was kind of a ridiculous superhero movie, but not as ridiculous as they got right after that.
I don't know if even the Vietnam War tracks or has any real connection to moviegoers, by and large, in today's world that you're trying to market this movie to.
Oh, no, it was 50 years ago.
Right.
Well, that's why they moved the story of Iron Man up to the wars in the Middle East versus
his original
Vietnam.
story.
Yes.
Yeah. Look, and that's where they had to update, or they will have to update Magneto, and he's not going to be set in World War II.
He'd be 90 years old now.
So he can't be. Yeah, that's
reliving the Vietnam War and understanding how the Vietnam War impacted society as well as soldiers, how America had pushed back on the Vietnam War and had, shunned soldiers who had come home from Vietnam.
They were spat on.
Yes. That's not going to have the same type of emotional impact, or you're not even going to be able to connect because people don't remember that, didn't live through that as far as moviegoers go.
But that original Rambo was such a perfect, essentially a drive-in movie premise, although it had an A-list star at the time. Traumatized vet comes home to a redneck town and is unfairly bullied and fights back, and then has to go on a revenge spree.
First blood.
It's an exploitation movie.
They drew first blood.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
I can't even do the crooked. They drew first blood.
I don't know about that.
That's his crooked mouth.
Yeah.
When we come back, we're going to stay right at Cannes Film Festival. Did you see the story about Denzel Washington and how he went at a photographer? I'm sorry, it's a visual, but we'll have it on our YouTube channel. Denzel Washington got into a spat with a photographer who put his hands on Denzel, not one.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
But twice.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
Live everywhere on YouTube, Instagram, and the iHeartRadio app. Let me very quickly talk about Denzel Washington. There is a video floating around regarding an incident that Denzel Washington had with a Cannes Film Festival photographer. And it's not as it's originally being reported. It's being reported as some tense red carpet moment. It's actually more than that. It actually was an assault by the definition of the term. We're playing the video right now on the YouTube video simulcast. And you have a photographer. He seems French from just reading his lips. It seems like he's speaking French. And he pulls on Denzel not once, but twice grabs his whole arm. Denzel points at him after the first time, points at his face and saying very clearly, stop, stop. Denzel turns to walk away, and the photographer again grabs him by his bicep to pull him in either for some sort of shot or question. I guess it's a shot because he's only holding a camera. I don't understand how anyone thought that was going to be okay. Now, with me, and this is something I've kind of talked about, but I haven't really talked about it. I don't like just people touching me, especially if I don't know you. You just come up and, put your hand on my shoulder. I just don't like that. You can judge me however you want.
Back to real quick. Just
go ahead.
Halloween Horror Nights. I could never do that.
Same thing. Yes, same thing.
Right there.
And in this video, you see there's an E-News video that we've been showing on our YouTube channel. This guy, without any type of permission or acknowledgement that he's getting ready, like he's going to say, like he's not reaching out to get Denzel's attention. He's reaching out to pull Denzel to him, physically pull him on 2 different occasions. How Denzel managed to not knock this guy out, I don't know. Because I'm swinging, especially when you do it the second time after I told you to your face to stop.
Yeah, the first time that you grab me unawares, I'm going to react instinctively. If you grab me unawares, I'm going to react as if I'm being assaulted, and that's not my fault. It's just been drilled into me. As soon as someone puts their hands on you that you don't know, out of nowhere, expect something bad to be happening. I don't care if you're out in the middle of a crowd of people. I don't know you. You don't know me. Don't put your hands on me, period.
Credit to Denzel. Obviously, he's been doing this for decades, and he understands he's on the red carpet. So there are literally hundreds of cameras on him, trained on him. He's on the red carpet. He has far more discipline than I would in that situation. He's not traveling with bodyguards, a body person who's standing over his shoulder, keeping people back. He's just there by himself, to his credit. But it's been misreported as far as what actually transpired. First, it was like there was some sort of a misunderstanding or something. It's like, no, the guy grabbed Denzel not once, but twice and forcibly pulled him to the photographer. I would have punched him. I mean it, not saying like trying to be tough. I'm just saying that is a reasonable response to someone who is grabbing you and pulling you. And Daniel, our video technical director, made a great point. Imagine if it wasn't Denzel, but an actress. Would you have had the same type of response if they had pulled on a woman in that way? Regardless of being post Me Too, it's like he's manhandled.
Yeah, the photographer would have been roasted.
And then after the photographer did it the first time, Denzel put his finger in the camera's face, telling him stop, stop, and the photographer just laughed in Denzel's face and then grabbed him again, which means it's intentional, and you are trying to start something. And I would have obliged him.
Yeah, at least he would have been shoved back. I mean, like I get it. Denzel's a consummate professional, and in the public eye, he knows all eyes are watching him in that red carpet moment. He is there with Spike Lee, and I believe A$AP Rocky. They're promoting the new Spike Lee film.
Yes.
Was it not Upside Down? I can't remember the name.
Highest to Lowest.
Highest to Lowest, yes. Yeah. So I get it. They're there for that, and all the cameras are on you. But that in no way will ever excuse this type of behavior. This is a very aggressive paparazzi, and he should at least have his press pass revoked.
And clearly, this guy did not feel that there would be any type of repercussions, which says to me, this probably has happened to more than one person. It just so happened that we saw it, and there was video trained on Denzel at that moment. You have to be pretty damn comfortable to think you can grab Denzel Washington not once but twice.
Do you think he did it so that maybe he could get some kind of like TMZ style guerrilla, fight going?
Don't know. I don't know. I don't know about the motivation for anything. I don't know.
It was just blatant.
They definitely try to goad these stars into a reaction. They do that constantly. And just once, wouldn't you like them to turn around and just like have a little wrist control and put the guy on his knees?
Yes, I would. Look, I would have loved if he did like a wrist lock on him. It's like, because once you grab me, it's like the fight is on at that point. That's what I would want to see. It's like, please grab me, please, because then I can torque your wrist and make you bend to my will at that point.
Let's see a nice spiral fracture.
Right. And look, and I'm quite sure Denzel's like, I'm 70 years old. I don't need this. I don't want the negative publicity. I don't want the lawsuit. I get all that. But a part of me wished he would have knocked that mother father out. Hit him one good time. And I'm not saying that I'm a proponent of violence, but I'm a proponent of violence in this instance.
See? Bofos.
Wait a minute. Bill Belichick is getting freaking engaged?
Oh, yeah, we just had that. He's 73, and his fiancée.
You
not
don't.
his girlfriend anymore. It's his fiancée. She's 24.
Marry the stripper. That's the takeaway.
Damn.
You date the stripper. You don't marry the stripper.
Wow.
I don't think she was a stripper, was she?
She is now.
Know. I mean,
well, no, he's just saying.
You're speaking metaphorically to avoid a lawsuit.
Yeah. No, she's not a stripper. She's just a gold digger.
Yeah.
Ouch.
It stopped you in your tracks when you heard it. That was awesome.
We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
Mood enhancing, pharmacy grade, stimulating talk.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.